funny thought or just feeling after spiraled, but not in a manic way, but just in a depressive and out of battery kind of way. And then I had a moment where I felt like my heart was pulling me towards it and calling me here. And that's the first time I ever felt inside my chest, or not physically, but I felt like I was somewhere else, not here. And what it looks like to be in front of me in the mind's eye, I was like napping, was like my heart, and it talked to me, or at least it said something to me that I was pretty certain that did not come from me trying to squeeze my mind and formulate a sentence and say it out loud, but it was very much felt like an entity that was speaking to me, and I felt it talking. It was almost like a whisper, almost like a whimpering sound, and I hope the entity is still alive, but it sounds like it's got life in it, but it was muffled or hidden or trapped or suppressed or dormant. And my heart talked to me. It wanted to rejuvenate, it wanted to beat again, it wanted to, how to put in words, it wanted to be free and break out of the cycle that I've been in. I realized not just in the recent months or years, but just my whole life. And I'm just going to entertain the fact and the notion that this might be my system just reprogramming it, and a lot of things are bound to just give out when when they say that you've been in survival mode for so long, and when you come out of it, your nervous system just crashes. And I think I see hints of it, or little symptoms, telltale signs that I am reprogramming or changing. Very everything is changing, and everyone's growing little by little, or with their own scale and pace. But I think with me, this phase has been incrementally, significantly, exponentially more vivid and more felt, and compatible with my newfound awareness sis. And it gets harder to bear, and it's okay, and I do not want to excuse myself out of this and saying this was survival mode, this was my environment or anything. But I think I know better, and I know better in here, and it takes some time, it takes some, this kind of crucible action energy thing that is kind of redesigning, remeshing, and transforming itself, and a lot of that bubbles to the surface, and I don't think that I like it, and my instinct is to numb it away and to not feel pain, and not feeling pain can be addictive. And I'm an apple that doesn't fall far from the tree. I take after my mom and my dad a lot. He's been smoking a lot too. My mom has been on the phone a lot too, and there's a theme of escapism and as a means of coping that runs through the family. And I don't know, and I feel like I am alone, in the sense that this is my shit, this is my cross to bear alone, and my shit to do, and my feelings to regulate. And it's exhausting, it's very sad, and sometimes I would scream and shout and possibly just sniffle and try to muffle my tears away, but it's going to be something visceral. I feel it coming. I feel it coming when I see Saragi dance to I'm Coming Out, and to Jerusalem, and I feel it calling me. I feel it pulling me away and above from something that's holding me down. And I never arrived at an answer as to what is holding me down. But I want, and whatever it may be, I want the answer to help me bring more accountability, because it's easy to blame the environment, it's easy to blame the past, and it's easy to blame my feelings, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that there will be growth if I don't go through hardships. And my comfort zone won't be a comfort zone anymore, but it's a zone of pain. The pain of regret, of inaction, and of self-belittlement, of scarcity, of victim mindset. And I also caught myself recently thinking that the world is limited, and then that we're doomed. And then that doesn't really align with what I kind of think of myself, or think of my thoughts to have to be like. And I thought I was open-minded or humanitarian, or sometimes I feel like I'd save the world, and that's true, and that's also not true, and that's, you know, for society, and society is us. And if we keep thinking from an individualistic, separated, selfish, helpless bystander kind of mindset, then there's no way things could change, right? You gotta be the change you wish you should see in the world. And as much cringe or as common as that saying is, it's still ever so powerful to me, because it shifts perspective to us, to taking action. And I've been also thinking about that, and my astrology chart, my midhaven and my north node in Leo and Aries, midhaven Aries and north node in Leo, and I kind of just entertain and put this kind of dangling goal on my mind board, and think that what it would be like for me to tune the whole identity up, and just be fearless about it. And I think I think it'll be quite the journey. I cannot even fathom and visualize what it is, but I know that this heart, just like the story that I just had during my nap earlier, this heart still has a lot to give. And it's also very patient. It's not angry at me, and it's just a little sad and disappointed, and it wants to invite me home. It wants to keep me alive and keep me beating, and it wants to connect with me. And I feel like also, like, the heart is where a lot of identity and emotional suppression resides in, and could manifest as stiffness or heaviness in. And I look back, and these recent months or years after the breakup, I feel my chest. I don't feel my chest as often. I don't, even though I have developed pecs and my figure and my whatever, my silhouette, you can quite see the pec area, and it's quite, I don't know. I do think it's it takes up a large portion of say someone's vision when they meet me. But what I mean to say is, I feel like I have a lot to give in this space, and I have been disconnected from it. I have been suppressing it for the sake of others, and out of fear that I will bother people, and that has never gone away. And I don't think it ever truly has, even for little moments. Yes, sure, glimpses of it, with glimpses of life, without that fear of upsetting others in whichever way that was, even to breathe or move a limb or say something a little louder, or scream or sing or dance, and it hurts me. It hurts the heart space, because it wants to be alive. It wants to give me life, because it doesn't believe, I think it does not want to surrender to this fatalistic mind and these outdated thought programs. And I think the part of me that's speaking this at the moment is not fatalistic. It wants good, but like there's some other part, some autopilot directive bundle of neurons that has operated and been like greased so hard and so often, and it has become almost like first nature for my existence. And I'm really surprised of how my heart is not angry. I mean, not angry in the sense that it wants to scold me like everyone has, or scold me or scream and critique and say I'm lacking and this and that. But my heart, to me, it's just like that energy I have or feel when I'm in flow, that I'm very relaxed and chill and calm, and not agitated or anxious. And I think I need to channel more of that core, and I can. So I'll try. But it's also the heart where I will harness and try to channel more grit and love and tenacity, because I do have tenacity in me, I know. Even if in this phase I feel like I'm this loser or fraud, headless snake or whatever, I have it. And it matters that I believe that I have it. I believe in myself. Believe in myself enough to question things and to voice my opinion amongst a sea of gazillion different ones. But and I also saw a post about working out your tongue muscles, and it's directly related to speech, and it got me thinking about sorry to steer the topic, but about eating someone out, going down on someone. And I was like, I remember enjoying it very much and almost like having tongue cramps from it and jaw cramps, and I forgot how it felt like, but it was one of the rare occasions where I had to put this the mandible, the jaws, and the tongue through tenuous exercises, and I realized that there's not just that, but also speech and singing and vocal percussion and beatboxing and everything else. Anything is trainable. The voices too, the larynx, the vocal folds, the gums, the tongues, the lips. It all connects, and I am reminded that I speak very softly. Sometimes that is from a fear of upsetting others, and I want to be gentle and soft-spoken. But there are times where I feel like I don't or cannot muster the energy from within here to speak really loudly, and I kind of just speak in this kind of tone and hear it in my head and think that that's enough volume for everyone else, because I can hear myself very vividly. And so I think that ties in a lot with self-expression as well, because literally the voice, I don't know,